الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن استنى بسنته إلى يوم الدين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا اللهم بما علمتنا وزدنا اللهم علما وعملا إنك ولي ذلك والقادر عليه. أما بعد، فنواصل الكلام في السيرة النبوية، وكنا وقفنا عند الكلام عن حادثة الإفك، ووقفنا عند قراءة الحديث عند صحيح البخاري في هذه القصة المشهورة. So we're going to continue inshallah today about the slander against Aisha radiyallahu anha wardaha, that famous event that has a lot of benefits, and actually there's a lot of good lessons to be learned. Inshallah, we're going to continue that in the Seerah, the biography of that event. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned about it, لا تحسب كما قال جل وعلا لا تحسبوه شرا لكم بل هو خير لكم. Allah said, don't think that it's evil for you, rather it's good for you. As the Sahaba, they learned throughout the revelation, and they grew in their faith, and they Allah زادهم رفعة, وكل من اتعظ واعتبر هذه القصة فإنه يزداد إيمانه إذا تدبر معانيها استنتج منها هذه الفوائد والثمرات. A person, if he looks into these stories with the right mindset, then he gets a lot of benefits from them, a lot of lessons from them. And first and foremost, the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, they benefited. Even if some of them, as we said, made a mistake in this matter, but they came out ahead. And they were raised in their rank in this life and the next. They repented, whoever messed up, and Allah accepted them. So we left off in the story. Last thing we're mentioning, that Aisha, yes, the Prophet ﷺ sought advice from his companions in this matter. Okay, and then after he sought advice from his companions, because at this point so far, there's been no revelation. 1 month has passed after the slander, the accusation against Aisha, bil-fahisha, with Safwan, the other companion. All this story has been rumors have been spread, and there's no revelation. So there's no clarity in the event. So this is a big test. And then when the Prophet ﷺ asked the companions, he came to the conclusion, especially he asked the Barira, the freed slave woman of Aisha, who's very close to her, very, very close to her. And she said, هي كالذهب الأحمر خالص صافي ما أعرفها إلا كالذهب الأحمر. She said about Aisha, I only know her to be like the pure gold. Pure. There's nothing I can say bad about her except that she's young. That's it. So basically after this, the Prophet ﷺ قام أمام الناس وصعد المنبر وقال. Then the Prophet ﷺ stood in front of the people, called everyone together, all the companions, and said, Ya ma'ashar al-Muslimin, من يعذرني من رجل قد بلغني أنه أذاه في أهلي والله ما علمت على أهلي إلا خيرا ولقد ذكروا رجلا ما علمت عليه إلا خيرا لا يدخل على أهلي إلا معي. يقصد بذلك صفوان الذي اتهم مع عائشة رضي الله عنها. So the Prophet ﷺ said, he said, "Oh Muslims, who would من يعذرني أي من ينصرني على هذا الرجل من هو الذي تولى كبره عبد الله بن أبي لأنه كان يعني سيد الخزرج كان مطاع في قومه له أتباع فما هو سهل أن يتوسل إليه ف يعني سأل من الصحابة العون وأن يساعدونه في عليه. So this man Abdullah ibn Ubay, the head of the hypocrites, as you said, he is the one who was behind this. He was gathering the information, he was promoting it, okay? But he was behind the scenes. But he was the main one in the gatherings who was promoting. So this was well known. But there was no clear thing that he was coming out in front, but he was behind the scenes. So the Prophet ﷺ asked the companions, who is going to help me against him? Because he was a leader of the tribe of Khazrat from the Ansar. He was not a minor figure. He had followers. He had a position. So this type of person you can't get to easily. And you have to use hikmah because يعني تراعى المصالح والمفاسد. إذا يعني كان يقام عليه الحد بدون بينة لعله يسبب فتنة من أتباعه هنا يكون فتنة في المدينة لأنه رأسهم وسيدهم أخذ من غير بينة من غير دليل. Because if the Prophet ﷺ was to have taken him and punished him without establishing any clear evidence in front of the people in the court of public opinion, then his followers would have rose up and he would have been like a martyr for them and they would have stood up and caused maybe a fight in Al-Madinah. So the Prophet ﷺ, being as wise as he was, he considered all these matters and aspects of benefits and harms. So the point is that when he asked the companions, who's going to, look into this matter, and then he mentioned that the Aisha, I don't know anything but good about her. This is the adhan biha. The person, the believer, he's according to what is known. ما تظاهر منه. إذا أظهر خيرا فيصدق ويؤتمن وإذا أظهر شرا فليس له ذلك. That the believer, if he shows goodness, this is the principle, then we have good opinion, we have husn al-dhan about them. But if a person shows evil, then we don't have any reason to have good suspicion about them. So Aisha at this point has done nothing to deserve bad thoughts about her. She had a good history. So at this point you say she is upon what she is. الأصل يعني الأصل في الشيء مكان يعني الشيء يكون على ما كان. That a thing is according to how it used to be until you have something to take it away from that matter. So the origin is that she's chaste, pious woman. So that's what he said. I only know that she is good. And also he said about the one, meaning Safwan, I only know him to be good. He never enters upon my family except that I'm present. He would never dare to enter upon my household alone without my presence. So why would he do that at this time? There must be some reason that he would be pulling the camel. As we know, that he was pulling the camel that Aisha was upon riding, but he was pulling from the front so he wouldn't see her. And when the people saw this, then the hypocrites started to spread this rumor. And there was a story behind it that had to be investigated. So the point is that he said this, the Prophet ﷺ, فَقَامَ سَعْدْ ibn Mu'adh. Sa'd ibn Mu'adh قال يا رسول الله أعذرك فإن كان من الأوس ضربت عنقه وإن كان من إخواننا من الخزرج أمرتنا ففعلنا أمرك. So Sa'd ibn Mu'adh, he was the leader of Al-Aws, the other tribe of Al-Ansar. And he said, "O Rasulullah, I will come to your aid and I will help you against the one who is propagating this. And if he is from Al-Aws, my tribe, because I'm a leader of Aws, we'll cut his neck. We'll take care of him and we will kill him. And if he is from our brothers, after the proof has been established, of course, again, after we look into the matter and the proof is this so and so, whoever is behind it is from my tribe, I'll take care of him because he's from my tribe. And if he's from the other tribe, Al Khazraj, from the Ansar, then we will apply, you order us whatever you want, and we will execute that order. He didn't dare to say, that I will kill him because he doesn't have domain on that other tribe, Al Khazraj. Okay? But nonetheless, it caused a little friction when he said that. And if he's from Al Khazraj, Amartana fafa'alna amrak. And if he's from them, then we will do whatever you tell us, meaning we will do it. Meaning he said he will do and execute your command. So there was a little bit of forwardness there. So what happened from the Khazraj stood up their leader. قام رجل من الخزرج وهو سعد بن عبادة وهو سيد الخزرج. The leader of Al-Khazraj, Sa'd ibn Ubadah, he stood up and he was offended. فقالت عائشة في الحديث وكان قبل ذلك رجلا صالحا ولكن احتملته الحمية فقال لي أي سعد بن معاذ كذبت لأمر الله لا تقتله ولا تقدر على قتله ولو كان من رحتك ما أحببت أن يقتل. So what did he say, Sa'd ibn Ubadah? He said, كذبت, you lied. To who? To Sa'd ibn Mu'adh. When you say that you have any domain in my tribe. And if you would not be able to kill anyone from my tribe, because he's a leader, he said you stepped onto my space here. And if this the one who is the criminal was to be from your tribe, you would actually not want to kill him because he'd be under your tribe. He's from one of your brethren. Okay, so Aisha said he was a righteous man, as were all the Sahaba righteous men. But he was overtaken by Hamiya, a little bit of Hamiya is like pride, partisanship, pride for his people. Okay, a little bit of nationalism, you could say, tribalism. He was overtaken by that for his tribe. So he said that. فقام أسيد بن حذير وهو ابن عم سعد ابن معاذ. Another of the Sahaba stood up at that time. There's three of them now, have gotten into the conversation. He was Usayd ibn Hudayr, and he is the cousin of Sa'd ibn Mu'adh from Al-Aws, the first one. So he came to his defense, and he entered into the argument. فقال لسعد بن عبادة كذبت لأمر الله لنقتلنه. He said, no, you lied. By Allah, we would kill him if he was from our tribe. We would not have any reservation because he's a criminal and he would not be able to hide in our ranks. لنقتلنه فإنك منافق تجادل عن المنافقين. So he was overtaken. He said something, that was insult to Sa'd ibn Ubadah from Al-Khazraj. He said, you're a hypocrite. And you are defending the hypocrites. Meaning, if he's in your tribe and behind you would be defending him by preventing us from going after him. So all he means, Sa'd ibn Ubadah, all he meant was, كان المفروض أن لو سعد بن معاذ ينقل الأمر إليه، يقول يا رسول الله لو كان من إخواننا الخزرج فيتولى إمساكه ويعني اتيان به وتعذيبه أخونا سعد بن عبادة. He should have said, all Sa'd ibn Ubadah say, he should have said, if he was from that tribe, from my tribe, he should have said, then we'll let them, their leader, handle it, who is our brother Sa'd ibn Ubadah. And he has a point. Okay? It's just the wording was not as it should be. So, but he got offended. So what happened after that? Uh, uh, يعني حتى قالت عائشة في الحديث فثار الحيان الأوس والخزرج حتى هموا أن يقتتلوا. So they became a little bit of tribalism and conflict, and each tribe got into a little emotional until they were about to fight. ها ف ورسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قائم على المنبر. قالت فلم يزل رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يخفضهم حتى سكتوا وسكنوا، يعني يسكنهم يخفضهم، يطفي هذا النار، نار الفتنة بين الأوس والخزرج حتى طفئت والحمد لله. So the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, as was his role as the leader, he brought peace until there was no more conflict, and he settled things down, and everyone was calm. But there was about to be a problem. Again, we said this goes back to the point: what do the munafiqun want? تفكيك الأخوة وإثارة الفتنة والعداوة والشحناء بين صفوف المسلمين. This is the role. This is the هذا همهم. ليس لهم هم إلا عداوة الإسلام من داخل. المشركون أعداء في الظاهر والمنافقون أعداء في الباطن. So we have enemies from without outward enemies who make war against and try to defame Islam publicly, outwardly. They're obvious. We know them. And then we have inner enemies who are trying to break the ranks and cause friction and cause weakness from within. So this is what they tried to do, and this is the part of the situation that they tried to cause. But يعني كلما أوقدوا يعني فتنة وشر أطفأها الله وقطع شرهم. And every time they try to cause a problem, Allah puts it out. He extinguishes. And His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this, and it's mentioned in some narrations. And the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam سعى في الإصلاح بطريقة لطيفة، بأنه أخذ ذهب لسعد بن معاذ وأخذ بيده وذهب إلى بيت سعد بن عبادة عند يعني وقت هذه الفتنة والشحناء. أخذ بيد سعد بن معاذ وساقه إلى بيت سعد بن عبادة وطئم عنده وتكلم وتحدث مع سعد بن عبادة. ثم في يوم آخر ذهب لسعد بن عبادة وأخذ بيده وساقه إلى بيت سعد بن معاذ وأكل في بيته وتكلم واعتذر بعضهم بعضا. هذه الطريقة يقول العلماء له وقع عظيم في النفوس، في تهدئة النفوس وفي تأليف القلوب وإذهاب الشحناء والبغضاء بين الإخوة، بين المؤمنين، بدلا من أن يلاقيه في الطريق. مثلا لو سعد بن معاذ لقي سعد بن عبادة في الطريق في الشارع واعتذر منه، ما كان له هذا الوقع في نفس سعد بن عبادة، مثلما لو ذهب إلى بيته كما فعل في هذه الروايات وتبادل سعد بن معاذ ابن عبادة وذهب إلى بيت سعد بن معاذ، فدخلة البيت له تأثير عظيم في القلوب وفي النفوس وفي إطفاء الشحناء والبغضاء. So the scholars mentioned that when some narrations, what happened is that the Prophet ﷺ took the Sa'd ibn Mu'adh, took him by the hand when everyone's hot and everyone's a little bit emotional, he took him by the hand and took him to the house of the one who is in conflict with his adversary, Sa'd ibn Ubadah. And they ate at the house of Sa'd ibn Ubadah, and they had nice conversation, nice talk. Another day he went to the house of Sa'd ibn Ubadah, and he took him to the house of Sa'd ibn Mu'adh, and same thing. They ate and they drank and they had a nice talk, and that's how the conflict was resolved. So this entering the house of the one who you have some conflict with, some personal problem with, this has a good effect to resolve that. If it's a personal thing, if it's just a matter of emotions overflowing and people getting excited, this will calm things down. And it has a great effect to enter the house. It's better than just meeting him in the road and saying, I'm sorry. Meeting him in the public place saying, I'm sorry. This, it can help, but it's not the same like if you go to his house and he comes to your house. Has a big effect. Again, we said this is if it's a personal thing. If it's something more than that, if it's something like more than that, that's a matter of aqidah or a matter of religion. It takes more. It takes some da'wah, takes some tabligh, al-adillah. Then you have to talk. If there's a different understanding, then you have to make some effort to sit at the table and bring some evidences and come back to our usul. As Allah said, وَمَا اخْتَلَفْتُمْ فِي شَيْءٍ فَرُدُّوهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَالرَّسُولِ. As Allah said, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَأَطِيعُوا الرَّسُولَ وَأُولِي الْأَمْرِ مِنْكُمْ. As Allah said, O you who believe, obey Allah and obey the Messenger and those in authority amongst you, meaning the rulers and the scholars, obey them. But if you differ, if the scholars differ, rulers differ, people may differ, we differ. وَمَا اخْتَلَفْتُمْ فِي شَيْءٍ فَرُدُّوهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَالرَّسُولِ. Then return that difference back to Allah and the Messenger. إِن كُنتُمْ تُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. If you truly believe in Allah and the last day. That's the resolution. لأن في الكتاب والسنة ما يحسم النزاع, that will relieve the conflict, because that's our bylaws, that's our constitution, you could say. That's we return to Quran and Sunnah ala fahm salaf al-ummah, upon the understanding of the Salaf, the Sahaba. So if we all believe in that, then why would Allah tell us to go back to Quran and Sunnah if there's no solution there? Means for sure, there must be a solution there for any conflict. That's why Allah said, if you differ, go back to Quran and Sunnah. If you believe. And when will it bring resolution? As long as everyone wants to come to the table, right? Also, Allah said about the husband and wife that that bring فإن أرادوا إصلاحا يوفق الله بينهما. أي الأمر معلق بالإرادة، لابد من إرادة. إذا طرف من الطرفين ما يريد الإصلاح فما يكون إصلاح. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, if the husband and wife have some conflict, then bring one from the party of the husband, from his relatives, and bring one of her representatives for the wife, and let them come and bring resolution. Okay? If there's a conflict between husband and wife, this is the way. Let them sit, let them come together and talk about their differences and apologize and so on and so forth. And then Allah said and made a qualification. And if both parties want resolution, then Allah will bring agreement between them. If. So there will not be resolution as long as one party or both parties don't want it. Okay? So a person has to want to come to the table to have the resolution. And so in this case, of course, the Sahaba, al-Qudwa, they're the awwal al-mumtathilin. They're the first to answer and follow the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They're our example. And so, of course, they came to the table and the matter was resolved. And as it should be, ila yawm al-qiyamah. Anytime there's a conflict, if it can happen between the Sahaba, it can happen after them. Conflict can happen. This is not something that is strange. That's where Allah set these rules. for resolution. So this is the way to resolution. طيب, so then to go on, uh, then Aisha رضي الله عنها قالت بينما نحن على ذلك أي في بيت أبويها. So Aisha at this point is in the house of her parents, Abu Bakr and her mother ف at that point استأذن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أن يدخل البيت فسلم فأذنت له فجلست تبقي معي لا قالت فسلم ثم جلس. So the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم asked to come in to the house of Abu Bakr at this point. Okay, and he was allowed to come in, of course, and he sat. فقالت عائشة ولم يجلس عندي منذ قيل ما قيل قبلها. So this is the first time for a month now that the Prophet ﷺ has sat with her. To this point, because of the rumors that are being spread, all he would do is enter, Assalamu alayki, kif haluki, how are you? And he would move on. He wouldn't have any affection toward her, although she was sick. قالت ولم يجلس عندي منذ قيل ما قيل قبله ولقد لبث شهرا لا يوحى إليه في شأني بشيء. And it was 1 month has passed, there's no revelation. So this is هذا موقف شديد. This is a very severe event. There's no revelation, nothing. فقالت فتشهد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم حين جلس ثم قال. So he started, with the shahada, mentioning Allah's name. قال أما بعد يا عائشة إنه بلغني عنك كذا وكذا. يا Aisha, it has been informed, I've been informed and has reached me about you this and this. أنها فعلت ما فعلت, that she did this evil act. فإن كنت بريئة فسيبرئك الله. And if you are innocent, then Allah will declare your innocence. Don't worry. If you're innocent, Allah will reveal your innocence. وإن كنت الممت بذنب فاستغفر الله وتوبي إليه. And if you had done some crime, some sin, then ask for Allah's forgiveness and repent to Him. فإن العبد إذا اعترف ثم تاب تاب الله عليه. Because the servant, when he admits his error and repents, then Allah will accept his repentance or her repentance. So whatever the case may be, just come clean. If you're innocent, don't worry. And if you did this, what they accuse you of, then come clean. فإن الأبناء قالت فلما قضى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قالته قلص دمعي. She said, and when the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم finished what he was saying, his introduction and his advice, I stopped crying, because at this point we said she was crying continuously and she couldn't sleep at all. She was in such distress. But at this point it was at the peak of the matter. حتى ما أحس منه قطرة فقلت لأبي أجب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم عني. So she said to her father Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu, answer Rasulullah for me, in this question. Answer him, declare, my innocence. فقال أبي والله ما أدري ما أقول لرسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. So Abu Bakr said, Wallah, I don't know what I should say to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in this condition, because there's been no revelation. There's been no clarity. Same thing she said to her mother, Ajibi Rasulullah, answer Rasulullah upon this, what he's requested from me. She said, Wallah ma adri ma aqul. She said, I don't know, Wallah, what I should say in this situation. Okay, so this is the situation that we're in, to build the situation that they're in. فَقُلْتُ. So then she had no choice but to speak up for herself. Although she was how old? 14 years old, imagine. 14 years old, girl, and she has to defend herself in this crime accusation. فقلت أنا جارية حديثة السن. I'm a young girl, very young. I have literally I have young teeth, meaning she's young. لا أقرأ من القرآن كثيرا. I don't read much of the Quran. I don't have much knowledge at this point, being young. إني والله لقد سمعتم هذا الحديث. She said, by Allah, I know that you heard this rumor that's being spread about me. حتى استقر في أنفسكم وصدقتم به, until it became established in your hearts and you were leaning towards, you're believing these rumors that are said about me. ولئن قلت لكم إني بريئة لا تصدقونني. And if I was to say I'm innocent, you would not believe me. You wouldn't believe me. ولئن اعترفت لكم بأمر والله يعلم أني منه بريئة لا تصدقونني. And if I was to say that I'm guilty and Allah knows I'm innocent, then you would believe me. So what am I to do? I'm between a rock and a hard place. I don't know what to do. You won't believe me because I have no proof. I have no one to testify to my innocence except Allah. And if I go out and say I'm guilty, then you believe me, and now I'm shamed. And the matter would be ended that way, though. فوالله لا أجد لي ولكم مثلا إلا أبا يوسف حين قال فصبر جميل والله المستعان على ما تصفون. She says that I don't know any example to put forth for me and you all in this situation except the statement of Abu Yusuf, Yaqub alayhi salam, when he said, Sabrun Jameel, beautiful patience, and Allah is the helper upon what you are ascribing of falsehood. ثم تحولت واضطجعت على فراشي. Then I turned back and fell and lied down on my bed. والله يعلم أني حينئذ بريئة. And Allah knows that I'm innocent at that point. وإن الله مبرئي ببراءتي. That I know that Allah will declare my innocence. ولكن والله ما كنت أظن. This is a tremendous statement she said. She said, لكن والله ما كنت أظن أن الله تعالى منزل في شأني وحيا يتلى. She said, I didn't think in this situation that Allah would reveal revelation, يعني Quran, about me. لشأني في نفسي كان أحقر من أن يتكلم الله فيها بأمر. And because my affair, to myself, I was too minute, too minimal, too insignificant that Allah should reveal Quran. Yutla, Quran that's revealed and recited on the in the Salah and on the Maharib إلى يوم القيامة. هذا شيء كبير. أنا ما أستحق. She said, that's a big thing. I don't deserve that. Imagine, she's innocent, and she's so shy and so humble. التواضع. This is the humbleness. إنها ترد النعمة إلى الله. She returns the favor to Allah. Allah is the one who decides, but I don't deserve anything myself, لكن كنت أرجو. What does she want? So she wanted her innocence to be declared, but in a quiet way, not Quran, and so forth about her, in a quiet way. لكن كنت أرجو, I wish, أن يرى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم في النوم رؤيا يبرئني الله بها. I will only wish that the Prophet ﷺ would see a dream, because the dream of the Prophet is truth, is revelation, and in that dream he would come forth and say, I saw this dream that she's innocent, and no big deal, case closed, simple. That's all I wanted. فوالله ما رام رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم مجلسه ولا خرج أحد من أهل البيت حتى أنزل عليه. And then she said, by Allah, the Messenger ﷺ did not leave the gathering, nor did anyone leave the gathering until revelation came on that spot. And this is after she, you know, defended herself. The revelation was declared, and these are the ayat revealed from Surah An-Nur, uh, and so this is the, you know, this is how the her innocence was declared on that occasion. And also, it's mentioned from benefits from this story that يعني في هذه الحادثة قد حصل موقف عظيم من بعض أصحاب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. Also, there was a good lessons how the other some of the Sahaba they reacted, and how we should react if there is a slander against one of us. And so they demonstrated to us how we should behave. Allah revealed revelation praising them in these ayat of Surah An-Nur. وهم أبو أيوب الأنصاري وزوجته وكذلك زينب بنت جحش أم المؤمنين. So three of the Sahaba they had very nice response, reaction to this slander, to this هذه التهمة الكاذبة وهذا الإفك المبين. They had a good response to this clear slander, clear lie, and accusation. كما جاء عند البخاري معلقا قال لما أخبرت عائشة بالأمر قام رجل وقال رجل من الأنصار وقال سبحانك ما يكون لنا أن نتكلم بهذا سبحانك هذا إفك مبين وهذا بهتان عظيم. So one of the men of the Ansar, as is reported in Bukhari, that he stood up at the time of the accusation, he said, glorified be Allah. It is not for us to speak on this matter. It's not for us to propagate and talk about this matter. Subhanaka, glorified are you Allah. This is a clear lie. This is a clear slander. This is a big lie. So this is his response at the beginning. And this is how it should be. نعم وجاء عند بعض الروايات عند ابن إسحاق أن أم أيوب رضي الله عنها زوجة أبي أيوب الأنصاري قالت له لأبي أيوب أما تسمع ما يقول الناس في عائشة. So also what happened, there was a discussion between Ayyub, the wife of Abu Ayyub. So when he came home, she said to him, did you hear what they're saying about Aisha? Did you hear what the rumors that are being spread? قال بلى وذلك الكذب. He said, indeed, but that's a lie. And he said this, سبحانك ما يكون لنا أن نتكلم بهذا سبحانك هذا بهتان عظيم. So he said, this is a lie. We can't talk about this. Obviously, it's a lie. Then he said something very wise. He said, أكنت يا أيوب فائلة. Would you, Ayyub, would you do that? That which Aisha, your sister, rather, has been accused of. Would you do such a thing? يعني هو طلبت منها أن تضعي أن تضع نفسها مكان عائشة. هذا هو المطلوب. أننا إذا اتهم أحد من إخواننا بشيء نجعل أنفسنا مكانه. كيف يعني نتفاعل بهذه التهمة إذا كنا نحن المتهمين، إذا كان علينا هذا الكلام؟ هل ندافع عن أنفسنا؟ كذلك ندافع عن إخواننا، ونحسن الظن بهم كما نحسن الظن بأنفسنا نحسن الظن بإخواننا. So this is the lesson that he's telling her how we should behave. Would you, in that situation, would you do that? Meaning, we should put ourselves in the shoes of our brothers. If they've been accused falsely, and if they have a good history, like I said, they're good practicing Muslims, and there's no reason to suspect them, then we should, if we're good practicing Muslims, then we should put ourselves in their shoes. And imagine, if we were accused, how would we want people to respond? We want people to give us excuse. Okay, so likewise, we should give them excuse. That's why Allah revealed in these ayat when he said في سياق لولا إذ سمعتموه ظن المؤمنون والمؤمنات بأنفسهم خيرا بأنفسهم أن يضعوا أنفسهم مكان المتهم. So that's what Allah said, if not, when you heard this slander and this rumor, the believing men and women should have thought about themselves good. Why themselves? Because they should be putting themselves in the place of Aisha, because she is one of them. المؤمنون كجسد واحد جسد واحد كما في الحديث. The believers are like a one body. Okay, so they should be having that good, putting themselves in their shoes, of the shoes of the accused. So this is the and at that point ثم أنزل الله هذه الآيات تصديقا لأبي أيوب ويعني يعني ثناء عليه ويعني so then Allah revealed these ayat literally saying what he said. He said سبحانك ما يكون لنا أن نتكلم بهذا سبحانك هذا إفك مبين وهذا بهتان عظيم. Allah revealed the same words that he said in the Quran as a affirmation of his position. And also we should mention, when it comes to we said we should have حسن الظن. حسن الظن هذا من أعظم الفوائد من هذه القصة, that we should have good thought about our brothers and sisters. As long as they, as we said, as we know them to be good, we should only have good suspicion and not believe anything, that goes against their history without a clear proof. Someone brings an accusation that goes against what we know from them, then we have to, look into the matter, fine, but we have to not believe it right away. As Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anh قال إذا يعني لا تظنن ولا تظنن بكلمة خرجت من أخيك شرا ما تحمل له من الخير محملا. أو كما قال Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anh, he said, any word you hear from your brother, he says something, you shouldn't have carry it on a bad light, as long as you can find some good, good way to understand it, right? You shouldn't, assume. You shouldn't assume that he meant evil for you or some disrespect, as long as you can find some way to understand it in a good light. You see, always give, as is reported, التمس لأخيك العذر ولو 70 مرة. هذا ليس حديث ولكن قول مشهور. This is قول ينسب إلى عمر رضي الله عنه كذلك. Also, it's reported that Umar radiallahu anh, he said, find an excuse for your brother, even if 70 types of excuses. You keep coming up with excuses for your brother. وَإِن لَمْ تَجِدْ لَهُ عُذْرًا فَقُلْ لَعَلَّهُ لَهُ عُذْرٌ. Even if you can't come up with one, say there must be some excuse for it. Okay? So as long as you can think some what he says and what he does, find it in a good light, carry it in a good way, make it seem good, you should do so. As we said, this is someone who has a good history, okay? And you would assume that he's good, okay? But not always. We don't say this is 100% of the time, okay? Because Allah said, يا أيها الذين آمنوا اجتنبوا كثيرا من الظن إن بعض الظن إثم. Allah said, oh, you believe, stay away from a lot of suspicion. Yani su'ud dhan, bad thoughts and bad suspicions about your brothers. Inna ba'd al-dhanni ithm. Some of the suspicion is sin. Some. So there is a role when you might have to have some bad suspicion. Okay? So there is fi tafsil. There's some detail to the matter. It depends on the situation. لِكُلِّ مَقَامٍ مَقَالٍ. Depending on the situation. Therefore, to clarify, and we'll end with this inshallah, that Umar, as a reported جاء عند البخاري عن عمر رضي الله عنه أنه قال. This is a famous narration from Umar in Bukhari to say how we should deal and how we should understand when there is some information comes to us about someone, or how we should, have this dealing. Inna unasan kanu yu'khaduna bil wahy. He said the people used to be treated according to the revelation, meaning at the time of the revelation, before the death of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. في عهد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. وإن الوحي قد انقطع. But the revelation is ended, meaning in such a situation arises, we don't have revelation declaring innocence for someone who's accused now, as was revealed for Aisha. We don't have that to clarify that Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul, the hypocrite, was in the wrong and she was in the right. That's then only that at the revelation. That's ended. There's no more revelation. وإنما نأخذهم الآن بما ظهر لنا من أعمالهم. So this is Umar radiallahu anhu, الذي أمرنا باتباع سنته. We mentioned yesterday that we're ordered to follow the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam wa sunnat al-khulafa al-rashidin, and follow the sunnah of the khulafa al-rashidin. From them is Umar. And he said, so now we deal with people, judge people according to what they show from us from their actions. بما ظهر منها, what they show, is apparent. Okay. فمن أظهر لنا خيرا أمناه وقربناه. And if they show us good, they're truthful, they're honest, they pray, they fast, they practice Islam, so on. أمناه, we trust them. وقربناه, and we bring them close. They're our friends. If they're truthful in their dealings, and they're upon sunnah and so on. وَلَيْسَ إِلَيْنَا مِنْ سَرِيرَتِهِمْ شَيْءٍ. We have no avenue to judge what is their secret life. Okay? Allah yuhasibuhu fi sarirati. Allah will judge him according to whatever he's hidden, he does in his house. We're not supposed to spy and see what he does in his private life. All we can judge is his public life. If he shows us good, we assume him to be good. Okay? وَمَنْ أَظْهَرَ لَنَا سُوءًا, the opposite. Whoever shows us evil, shows us bid'ah, innovation, hypocrisy, lying, sinfulness, public display, and so on. لا نأمنه لم نأمنه. We don't trust him. Umar said, we don't trust him. And no matter how, this is now سوء الظن. إن بعض الظن إثم. هذا سوء الظن في مكاني في محلي. This is now we have suspicion. We're suspicious about this person. Why? Because he's acts suspiciously. He brought it upon himself. He doesn't practice. He's not truthful. He's not honest. He's played games. وَلَمْ نُصَدِّقْهُ. And we don't trust him. We don't believe him. Allah said, وَإِذَا جَاءَكُمْ فَاسِقٌ بِنَبَإٍ فَتَبَيَّنُوا. Allah said, Surah Hujurat. And if an evil person comes to you with some information, لَا تُصَدِّقْهُ لَا تُكَذِّبُهُ فَتَبَيَّنُوا. Then seek clarification. Seek some supporting evidence for his statement. Don't believe him. Don't say he's a liar. Don't say it's false, but don't believe him, and don't go and run with his statement, because it could lead to fitna, as Allah said. So we should clarify. So he said, وَلَمْ نُصَدِّقْهُ وَإِنْ قَالَ إِنَّ سَرِيرَتَهُ حَسَنَةٌ. This person who is evil, showing evilness, lying and so forth, we say we don't trust him. We don't believe him. Even if he says, my heart is good. Even if he says, I'm I only want good, and so on. It's according to the actions. It's according to what we see, right? As when it comes to marriage, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, إِذَا جَاءَكُمْ مَنْ تَرْضَى دِينَهُ وَخُلَقَهُ فَزَوِّجُوهُ. Same way, if someone comes to marry our daughter, and he doesn't pray, he's deals in a haram job, or he has a bad way, lies and so forth, and he says, oh, my heart is good, I want to marry your daughter. Okay, we believe you. Come, here's my daughter. No one would do that. This is madness. No, we'll say, okay, bring your witnesses. We want to see who knows you. Bring your references, right? You pray, you fast, you tell the truth, you're good in your dealings and so forth. Okay, now we trust you. Now we will marry. our daughter to you. Okay, even if he says, and what he says. So yeah, this is هذا هو التفصيل في الأمر. So this is how some of the benefits that we gain from this story, and there's many more benefits. Like there's no time to take all of them. So inshallah نكتفي بهذا القدر والله تعالى أعلى وأعلم وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين وجزاكم الله خيرا أجمعين. Yeah. Any questions on the story or clarification? Sorry, we took over time, but we wanted to finish, inshallah, this one. Barakallah. Yeah.